questions, and he's my papa. First question is, where did you live as a kid?
I lived in Wadley. I was born in a house in Wadley. I wasn't born in a hospital. And I went to school in Wadley and graduated from Wadley High School.
What was a typical day for you as a kid?
Well, mostly when I started to school, we had to walk to school every day. And we had chores to do every evening when we got home. We had to get in firewood. We had to feed chickens. We had chickens, always, and gather the eggs. And we did all of that. And most of the time, we'd run in the house and get a biscuit out of the old wood stove that we had to chop wood for. And we'd put syrup in it and go outside and eat it. And then we'd play. And we didn't play in the house. We always played in the yard.
Who was your favorite teacher when you were in school?
My favorite teacher in school was really in high school, and it was O.W. Carter. And the reason I picked him is because he showed us how to weld. He showed us how to wire things up. We built boats, cedar chests, boat paddles. We planted and we sold sweet potatoes. And my first job as a welder is because of Mr. O.W. Carter.
How was your first job as a teen?
First job as a teen, I actually worked at the PAL Theater. And first job was selling tickets. And my second job was selling popcorn and candy and Coca-Colas. And there I learned how to make change and greet people, and it was a good experience.
What is your view of today's world?
Today's world is in the opposite direction of when I was growing up. Everybody now is going every kind of way, and they're so busy they don't have time for anything. And when we was growing up, we sat on the front porch in the afternoon. Matter of fact, 2 of the houses I lived in didn't even have electricity. So, we had to make our own fun. And neighbors would come over and sit on your front porch. And you sat in a rocking chair and you talked. And, of course, the children didn't talk when grown people was talking. But, you enjoyed your cousins. And, we had meals together. It was a good time back then, We didn't have a whole lot, but we had friends, and people took care of one another.
How did you meet Granny?
Well, I first met her. She moved to town, and she lived out in the country and moved to town. And I was always raised in town. And I first saw her. We all played together. That was a big deal back then. Children didn't stay in the house right up under their mama and daddies. They shoot them out in the yard, and we learned to play in the yard. And of course, we didn't get in any trouble back then. There's too much trouble to get into now. But back then, just playing and climbing trees, playing in the ditch, throwing corn stalks and having little fights like that. That was the thing. I met her, and one of the things that was special about her is she was the first birthday party that I ever went to. She invited me to a birthday party, and to me that was something special because I had never been. And me and her had liked each other all our life.
What advice would you give young people today?
Well, I would certainly advise the young people now to go to college or go to a tech school, because when I started out picking cotton, and then I worked for a $1 hour job at the PAL Theater. I went to a welding job for $1 an hour, and then I went to a parts department job for $1.25 an hour, and those are really hard days. And when you don't have an education, you have to take what comes along, and you have to really work hard at it. And most of my life I've had to work really hard. And then finally, someone recognized that I was a hard worker, and then I got a break. But it was just a lucky break to get the job that I had for all my life. But it's hard to go to school after you graduate from high school, but you got to do it nowadays. And you need to get all the computer experience you can, because everything that you use is a computer. Even a coffee machine, a Coca-Cola machine, a microwave, everything's got a computer in it nowadays. So you need to study and really concentrate on mathematics. Everything you do in your life, you'll be counting money, making decisions that's based on money. So you need to have the basic knowledge to reason things out. And that only comes if you get a further education.
Thank you for allowing me to interview you today, Papa.
No problem.
Now I had the time of my life. No, I've never felt like this before. 'Cause I swear it's the truth, and I owe it all to you.